Hello and welcome everyone. So we are live on Times of India Facebook page and I have a very special guest with me today, Manushi Chhillar, Miss World 2017. First of all, Manushi, how are you feeling?
Mixed feelings. It's not. I've not yet realized completely that I'm passing on the crown, but I'm very excited to go to China now.
Wow. Now, while we wait for more people to join us, if you can just wave to everyone watching you live because they're saying hello, ma'am, sending you hearts.
Hi everyone. Hello. Lots and lots of love back to you.
I'll quickly read some of the messages because it's live right now.
Yeah.
Jayanta Madhab says hi.
Hi.
Imran has sent his heart. Prajwal Rana says hello, ma'am. Sakshi Gupta says hi. All right, so everyone, you all can also send in your questions, and Manushi would be answering those questions live. Now, till the time we wait for others to join us, I'll quickly ask some of the questions, Manushi. Now, in just few days, you will be passing on your Miss World crown. What is the feeling like?
It's mixed. Like when I started the year, 18th November last year, it seemed like a very long year. It's more than a year for me. But now that it's finally come, I'm like, how time just flew. It was so fast. But I'm excited. There's a sense of attachment you have to the crown, of course. But once a Miss World, always a Miss World. And there's a lot of excitement because I can't wait to see another girl go through the same journey that I did this year.
Nikita Patel wants to know, what is the secret of your beauty?
I think lots and lots of love from you guys. But thank you, Nikita. I'd say there's no such secret. It's just that whenever you're confident about yourself, you see yourself in a beautiful way in the world. You look at you in that manner.
Subhashi Das also wants to know, will you continue your medical studies? I'm sure you ask this. You get asked this question
every time.
Yes.
So I'd say that my source of confidence has always been my education when I went to the pageant. I feel that made me feel like I had something to offer which others didn't. So that's even if I don't, no matter what field I choose in the future, I think my education is something I will keep going.
Okay. Ayush Kaul says, I know you're Miss World, but what qualities do you think a Mr. World should have? Ayush Kaul has this question.
As much as I've met two Mr. Worlds in my reigning period, and I'd say the qualities that make a true Mr. World would be he has to be a gentleman. Miss World, of course, is all about beauty of the purpose, and though we have a lot of fun with the boys, but when it comes down to work, they need to be able to get their hands dirty. They need to be able to do what, to complete what the job of a Miss World is. There are times when we go to places where if I, being Miss World, can offer my empathy and my compassion and my connect with children, then the Mr. World is expected to get his hands dirty to maybe actually do tasks which might require his strength, his expertise. So they both go hand in hand. He has to be a true ambassador of beauty with a purpose. He has to be someone that all boys look up to. And again, Mr. World has to be a gentleman from the heart.
Perfect. How answer that question for you? Ashish Kumar has a question. How many countries you have already visited after becoming Miss World? A lot.
We were counting today, actually.
What is the count like?
We've not counted to a number, but we've counted till 19. 19, but it should be more. It should be more.
Now, talking about Miss World, what was the biggest change in your life, Manushi? I'm sure there must have been many changes, but what was the biggest change that you have witnessed in your life?
Well, I think traveling just changes your perspective about everything. And for me, the biggest change and the biggest learning was to understand that there is a world beyond what we see. I think even the internet is a very small place. When you actually go and see, you realize that what you perceive, different cultures, communities, different things across the world to be, they're not like that when you go there. And my understanding towards people has increased because you start to understand that it's not just the way people act, but why they act in that particular manner. And you start to not judge them because of their actions, but because of their intentions. So that's one thing I learned.
Right? A lot of messages coming your way, like you're pretty, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Rohan Mohanty says you are very beautiful, ma'am. Please do plan a visit to Bhubaneswar. You should call
Perfect. Thank you, Rohan.
her. Girish R wants to know, what is your future plan?
What is my future plan? Girish, I'd say I have just completed such a like a Herculean year, I'd say. It was a Herculean year for me. And now that I've actually got my mind off this and I can think about what next. Of course, there are things that I was attached to, like my college, which I have to finish. But more than that, this experience has brought so many opportunities in my life that I want to take the time and take a right decision. So committing myself to one particular plan as of now, I feel would be limiting my own, would be narrowing down my own opportunities. So I want to take my time and think about it.
Aspik wants to know, what changes did you observe in your lifestyle after being Miss World? What changes?
In my lifestyle. It changed all over. I think this 1 year, because of the travel, it was very hectic. I wouldn't lie. When there were times when we were working for more than 24 hours, but of course it was fun. And I'd say maybe the diet. I had to adapt according to every country that we were in, and being a vegetarian, that was a challenge for me. And more than that, I was always a person who followed a very strict lifestyle. Like, I knew when I'd wake up, when I have to go to the gym, I had an exercise schedule, I had a schedule to study. So maybe that schedule, because we didn't have a single day that was like the other. So there was no schedule that we could plan. So our lifestyle was was quite different. It was like that of a traveler, you don't have a schedule as such. But it was fun.
Right. Now, talking about traveling part, post-winning Miss World, you've been traveling non-stop for your beauty with a purpose as well. Would you want to tell our viewers watching you right now about your experience of traveling for that?
I think it is a life-changing experience. Every Miss World gets to live that for 1 year, and that is something that attracted me towards Miss World. Beauty with a purpose, what you see, it inspires you. But when you're actually a part of it, when you're out there in the front end, championing, being the flag bearer of that cause, it completely broadens your mind in every way. You meet all sorts of people. You meet leaders, presidents, businessmen. At the same time, you meet people who are not so fortunate. You meet people, who have lost a lot. You meet children who are not as privileged. So you meet people from all walks of life, and that just it broadens your perspective about life. There's so much in life, and I think I was so fortunate that I got to travel to every continent and touch projects from as basic as leprosy to education in New Zealand. I got to do so much in my 1 year. For me, myself, it was a learning experience, and again, a responsibility, because when people look up to you, like you used to look up to, you look up to so many people when you see beauty with a purpose. But now that when you are the flag bearer, you know that you have a responsibility to fulfill, and you automatically start transforming your own life. You start trying to be the person that people would want to look up to.
Any moments that you would want to share with us that you remember for the rest of your life? Anything that made you emotional?
A lot of moments that I'll remember, but I'd say that I think I remember going to to Iowa in USA. We went to Des Moines for the Variety Children's Telethon, and a day before the telethon, I was alone, and I had to go. I went with Barney, the Miss World host. So both of us were taken on this bus to the different charities that they do for children, and we went to a summer camp where children who were there, and there were these little kids. They were like 3 or 4 years old. And the moment I entered, I was dressed very. It was a cold day. I was dressed very normally. I didn't even have my crown. But they suddenly were like, "Oh my God, who is she?" And I told them that I'm Manushi, and I've come all the way from India to meet all of you. And they were so happy, and they were telling each other, "She's come all the way from India to meet us." So that was one very special moment, because I was talking to the camera. There were some people, and I started talking to them. they didn't let me finish any sentence. They just started running, screaming, and they were all hugging me, and I was almost like I was falling all over. But that was very special.
Right. I think you shared about this incident as well on your Instagram. I remember that.
Yes.
The pictures.
The same
also.
kids. Their energy, my God.
Even you had that energy and your smile, and everyone is talking about your smile, that you have a fascinating smile. So
Thank
what
you.
makes you smile? Like, what makes you blush, Manushi, so much?
What makes me blush?
Yeah.
I think I've been asked this question before also many times. I think honest compliments. That's what I said before.
Yes.
Also, when compliments are honest and in your head you know that there's truth in it, that would make me blush.
All right. Let me take some of the live questions. Shivani wants to know, what do you think about Miss World 2018 contestant? Are you keeping a tab on them?
This year has been very busy. I have gotten the opportunity to meet a few of them on the finals, but I haven't seen all the girls yet. I know there are a lot of predictions, and I get tagged in a lot of predictions, and there's a lot of mystery around who's going to win this year and all. But I don't know. I don't have my personal biases towards anyone. I feel that after experiencing Miss World, I would want a girl who can carry this legacy forward, who is passionate about, putting her heart and soul and her entire year into Miss World, because that is the least you need. You need to put your 365 days into, trying to fulfill the duties of a Miss World. So I'd say may the best girl win. I'll be seeing all of you on the 20th of November. I'm traveling to China. So maybe then I'll once I get to see them. I know also when you look at them, you look at their pictures, you look at their videos, it's very different from when you actually meet them and you get to know them. So I wouldn't say, I don't have anyone in my mind right now.
I'm sure they must be listening to this and they will be like, okay, I need to have that in me as well. All right, Myra Preet has a question for you. First of all, she's saying...
Myra. I've known Myra ever since I walked into the Miss India auditions.
Myra says, thank you so much for the wonderful memories. Manushi, you are first BWAP winner who has touched so many lives. Now, which project apart from your was your favorite, or any other project that touched you?
That would be such a tough answer, Myra, but thank you so much. I think you have constantly showered so much of love on me. Not only you, like a lot of the pageant communities. You've always encouraged me. So thank you, everyone. You guys are keeping pageants alive, I feel. And Myra, I'd say one project that I really felt connected to was the leprosy awareness program that we did in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And though we went for the leprosy awareness, but we also met with an organization called APAI, which helps people with genetic disorders. So they have their school, they prepare them for jobs, they give them jobs as well. So it's a whole institution. And when we went in there, the institution had an infrastructure for accommodating 200 people. But there were more than 500 who were staying there. So they were all squeezed into the space. And it had been like around 2 to 3 years that they had been requesting the government, or they had been going to organizations for support. And I remember going to Brazil in April, and I took a letter, and that was the first trip that I went without Julia. And I took the paper and I said, okay, you have to do this. I walked up to the governor. I said that, sir, nice to meet you. We have these requests. If you could please look into it. And the governor was brilliant. He said, sure. And not only did he provide us a platform to raise funds, but he himself donated all the money to the cause. And so that was one thing. When I entered there are videos. I hope you've seen those. The moment I entered with me, Mr. Brazil, Miss Brazil, they were lovely people. Even if they had genetic disorders, they were just like us. They ran. They were all fighting to dance with me, and I think I was just myself with them. I had a wonderful time. And after that we went on to the leprosy project. So I think Brazil as a trip, both these projects are something which I personally feel very connected to.
Thank you so much for that. Navina Kumar wants to know, what did you felt when your name was announced as Miss World? Also, you were crowned on 18th November.
India!
Yes, and the Miss World is India. So what was the feeling like, Manushi?
Wow. That night, I remember every millisecond of that night, 18th November 2017, because I remember being on stage and we got called out in top 5, and I suddenly I went into this other zone altogether. And with the question answer, the moment they asked me the question, of course you don't know and you're not prepared for what is going to be asked. And before I was going to answer the question, I was looking at the crowd, and that's the first time I spotted my parents. And I got so emotional on stage at that minute. And I was like, oh my god, it's happening. And that's when I realized, Miss World's happening today. So after I answered, I don't know, that was the first time I was not thinking when I was answering. I always think when I answer. And that was the first answer that I couldn't even form it. I just had that content in my heart, and it just came through. That filter of the brain couldn't come in, and I was scared. I was like, oh my god, what did I just do? What did I just answer? Like, I just said whatever came to my heart. But that's I learned a lesson that's what works. And but the moment I answered and I looked down, I looked at the judges, I looked at my parents, and I looked at the audience's reaction. And that minute I was like, oh my god, I'm winning tonight. So that more than what you answer and what you feel within yourself, when you look at the people, you realize you've won so many people's hearts. There were people from all over the world who had come to cheer for their contestants, but at the end of the night, everyone was cheering for India.
Yes, we saw that India cheer from the crowd.
that was something very, very, I think I can never forget. And the moment when I went backstage, all the girls, they came to me and they were like, you're winning tonight. And I remember Miss Kenya telling me that, promise me, Manushi, if you win, or I know you're winning, you'll hug me first. And I was like, okay, I'm trying to please right now, but I promise you. So when she, when first runner-up, like second runner-up, first runner-up announced, I was like, oh my god, India. And then, the moment she said India, it was just this ball of emotions that just suddenly burst. And I didn't know what to do, to cry, to laugh, to run. I just wanted to do everything.
This answer actually gave all of us goosebumps, I'm sure. Listening about that experience also. Yeah. Now, talking about the other days, Manushi, have you ever felt like, like, oh, I want to go back to my old days? Has there been any moment that you felt like, oh, I don't want this life, I want to be old Manushi?
I think I'm still the same girl. I'm still the same person that I was. Maybe someone who's seen a little more, learned a little more. But I still would react. I still have the same friends. I still behave the same way with them. I would still react to a particular situation the way I did before. And I'll be honest, with this year, it has been a tough one. Not just, it's been a wonderful journey. But there were times when I'd be like, what should I go back? Should I just go back to a simpler life? Everything has become there's just so much of everything. But it's an opportunity that one girl in billions gets, and I wanted to make the most of it. I do feel, but I know that with the experience that I've got and what all I've learned, I'll never be able to be the same person. I am still the same person, but never be able to go back to a similar lifestyle or the same life. But I mean, that's how life is. You move on from things. Experiences happen. You have nice memories, bad experiences. I wouldn't say you have learnings, and then you move on. So I actually now want to move on and see what's next.
Now, in just 1 year, your life changed 360 degrees, I would say.
Yes.
Now, have you now gotten used to the fact that now you are a public figure and you have to behave or act a certain way?
I'd say that is something I am still getting used to. Because, but I've always enjoyed this whole idea of being in front of the camera, meeting different kinds of people, putting your opinion, speaking your mind out. I've always been a person I've spoken my heart and my mind. I've always been very transparent with my conversations. So I think it's something that it continuously keeps happening because I've never grown up in an environment where I was exposed to so many things. But I'm of course more used to it than I was before. You'll always be a little shy. There'll always be that wonderment that you have when you're an ordinary person and you suddenly become extraordinary. So I think that'll be with me all my life.
And you said you were an introvert, right? Still the same?
I think I still am. I'm not completely extrovert. I like to talk a lot. But I feel that I still enjoy a lot of me time. I still like to be, on my own, reserved in my own space, to think on my own, be in my own room, maybe write my own journal and stuff. I'm not that much of a person who'd like my life to be all about just people.
Okay. Now we have another question from Gaurav Sharma. He wants to know what motivated you during this entire journey.
Hi Gaurav. I have been I've been a crazy dreamer. I think I've been so religiously devoted towards my goals in life. My motivation has it's just been I could only see my dreams and my goals, and I believed in achieving those in milestones. So I'd be like, okay, this. Like now Miss Haryana. For if you talk about Miss World, okay, Miss India Haryana, then Miss India, then Miss World. So that's how I'd go about it. And what keeps me going is that it's the first time that takes all the effort. When you first work hard, you put your heart and soul into it, you have to push. There'll be times, I'm not always very motivated. There are times when I feel like everything is going so wrong right now. But when you reach that one goal and you realize the happiness that you get when you earn something on your own, the fruits of your hard work, you get to taste the fruits of your hard work, then it becomes an addiction. Then that motivates you that I want to do more, I want to do more, I want to do more. So that is what keeps me motivated. I say it's a combination of the kind of support I got from my family, looking up to people, and a little bit of ambition. And I think these three really push you.
Right. Let me take some of the live questions as well now. Rachika Rastogi wants to know what kind of books you love to read.
Hi Rachika, thank you for asking me this question. I think that's the first time someone's asking me without me telling that I love to read books. I love books and I love fiction because I feel that I am a very imaginative person. I love new ideas, new ways of doing things. And I feel when you read fiction, especially especially stuff related to fantasy worlds and even science fiction, for a matter of fact, I feel it's a glimpse into another person's imagination, and it actually shows you how the mind has no boundaries and what you can create different worlds. That's why I love Harry Potter. I say that she created a completely different world. So I love reading, fiction, and yeah.
Right. Vishnu wants to know what are your future plans?
Hi Vishnu. I think I just answered this question, Vishnu, but I'll do that again for you because you share the name with our Mr. World candidate for next year. Vishnu, I feel that I'm still figuring out my life. I'd say that I of course have one journey that's been left incomplete, and that's of my studies. So that's something I would love to complete. But with the exposure I've got an ocean of opportunities, and I don't want to narrow them down by putting, by focusing on a few right now. I want to explore and then take my decision.
Harsh Raj wants to know what's your message to the younger generation? Even she's in this generation.
I'm the same generation, and my message to everyone is that we are living in a really good time where we have access to so much of information. We have access to people who are doing great in their life. I feel that parents are becoming more open-minded, and they're letting the children follow their dreams and follow their heart. And I tell all the people from the younger generation, just be uninhibited when it comes to dreaming, to working towards what you want, to expressing yourself. Work towards it. There will be times when life might not feel like life is in your favor, but at the end of the day, you'll always be the winner. If you are true to yourself, if you're honest when it comes to your actions, your intentions, if you're honest with yourself, what you want, you set your heart on something, and hard work, passion, honesty always pays off. So that would be my question. But that would be my message to all the people in the youth. And it's important to enjoy life, but with some responsibility.
So many people asking, do you play PUBG? I think it's gone crazy.
My gosh,
viral.
I have, so I have the PS4. And I don't like playing games on my phone as much. So on the PlayStation, I sometimes, because my brother is such a big gamer, I play Fortnite with him maybe, but PUBG is the new thing. And even if I was, I wouldn't tell you guys. I don't want to show you guys how good I am at it.
Ruchika is saying some beauty tips from you.
Hi, Ruchika. Ruchika, I'd say beauty tips, if you get really technical about it. Good nutrition, because when you are glowing from inside, you know, makeup, no makeup, you look great. I'd say lots and lots of hydration. Take care of your skin that way. And exercise. When I exercise, I get red cheeks and I glow, and it adds a different kind of glow. So these three.
Preeti wants to know, if you get a chance to act in someone's biopic, whose biopic would you like to do? Why not?
Mine? Okay, perfect.
Manushi Chhillar as Manushi.
Answer. Mine.
That
sounds so bad. Whose biopic? Wow, I think there's so many women that I look up to, but maybe Michelle Obama, I think.
Very strong.
Yeah, I think she's someone, I love the way she sends her message across. I love how she mixes being opinionated and being humble together. And I feel I'd love to maybe do her biopic.
Dinesh wants to know, what is your secret to stay healthy?
My secret to stay healthy. Again, I think the first, I remember this definition of health from our science in 9th grade biology. So it's not just your physical health, but your mental, your emotional. So health is like a holistic thing. And I'd say to stay healthy, the first thing is from inside. We need to start treating our bodies, like an instrument, like our instrument to function every day. So always remember, whatever you give to your body is what will give back to you. So good food, good exercise, and mentally please be at peace. Always stay happy.
Well said. Chaya wants to know your favorite food. I think everyone
knows this. This is like Rajma Chawal by my mama.
What was the most challenging part of your journey?
The most challenging part would be the travel. I think a lot of times it was very difficult. There were a lot of places where normal people don't have access to, that we have to reach. And then being Miss World, you can't just reach over there like any person. You have to enter as a Miss World. So to keep myself composed as Miss World, and at the same time, face these difficult situations. There were times when I had to be dressed in gown, in a dress and heels, and there was not even a proper ground that I was walking on. But I had to keep that smile on and keep that expression of like everything's good. So maybe initially it took a while for me to, not a while actually, I kind of enjoyed it, but somewhere in the head it does, the responsibilities do make you, it gets a little tough. But I'd not put this as the most tough part. Now that I think about it, being a vegetarian and traveling is tougher. Because you all need food.
So many questions coming, like for this one, that will you continue studies or would you join Bollywood? I could see so many questions regarding the same. So they
I've already answered two questions with the same thing, and I'd say that Bollywood is a wonderful opportunity, and I'm so happy that I wouldn't deny that that things haven't been coming towards me, and it's one opportunity, like it's one girl and so many gets this kind of an opportunity. I'd love to explore it. I've already been, introduced to the industry in such a wonderful way. Everyone has celebrated. The industry has been so kind. They all celebrated my victory like theirs. So I've had a good experience. I have my studies also to do. So like I said, still figuring out what definitely I would do. But I think for now I can balance both.
Aparajita wants to know, how did you manage Miss World preparation with medical studies or Miss India preparation with medical studies?
Well, Miss India preparation, I was always a person who used to exercise every day. So I started, I used to wake up like at 4 a.m. in my college and, go work out in the dark, then come back, study, go to college, then come back, go to the gym, study, sleep. So life was all about that. And because I was strict with my lifestyle, and I liked to, everyone likes to look good. So I didn't start working out because I wanted to come to Miss India, but because I wanted to look my best. And then it helped me for Miss India, and my actual preparation started after Miss India, when when I had to prepare for Miss World. That was when I took a break from my college and was completely devoted towards it.
Thank you. Rohan Singh wants to know, who's your favorite cricketer?
Hi, Rohan.
Do you follow cricket? Firstly, I want to answer it.
I'll be very honest. I do follow because I'm an Indian, but I'm not very religious about it. But I have met Virat Kohli. I think everyone in India looks up to him. Everyone admires him for his contribution towards our cricket team, and I feel because I had the opportunity to meet him. I had the opportunity to talk to him. I think he's a wonderful person, and he's someone who's so disciplined about about his sport, about his work, about his life, and so he'd be my favorite.
Banya Pradhan wants to know, she says, I lack confidence in me. Will you please give me some tips on how to become confident? It would be of great help.
How to become confident? That's something that I think has to come from within. First thing is you need to let the fear out, and I think even if you're an introvert, you can be very confident. You need to stop thinking in your head. You need to stop judging yourself in your head, because what I personally have felt that the only time we lack confidence in our life is when we ourselves are criticizing us. So once we stop criticizing ourselves, just look into the mirror every morning maybe and tell yourself you're the best, well done. Start these affirmations is when I think slowly it'll go into your subconscious, because once you yourself stop putting these inhibitions or stop judging yourself, automatically you will stop fearing what other people think.
Bhanu Bansal wants to know, what kind of music you like? You love music.
It depends on my mood. It depends on my mood.
Okay. Anu Singh has a message. God bless you and keep shining.
Thank you.
Deepak wants to know your favorite Bollywood actor.
My favorite Bollywood actor. Actually, there are two, and I'm so happy that I got to share the stage with both of them. Shah Rukh Khan, always, he's the king of romance, and I think the way he can make you fall in love, no one else can. He's been my childhood favorite, and now I really like the work that Ranveer Singh has been doing. I think he's a wonderful actor, and the kind of energy he brings, it's great.
Okay, Madhumita wants to know, what motivates you the most?
What motivates me the most? I think we've done this question.
Yes, so many questions.
What motivates me the most? I told you, the mixture of three things. I think, of course, the push from my family, my looking up to different people in life, and dignitaries in life, and of course a little bit of ambition. I am a dreamer.
Shivani wants to know, message to your successor. Do you have a message for?
I'm actually saving my actual message for her whenever she's on the 8th of December when she's crowned. But what I truly wish for her is to experience this 1 year, because it's going to be a wonderful year. She's going to get to see all sides of life. She's going to get to learn more than 12. She's going to learn 12 years worth of things, and I tell her to enjoy, to learn as much as she can. And if she ever faces any problem, never feel shy to pick up the phone and call me, because sometimes I can understand that it can get a little confusing. But most of all, I'll tell her that she's going to learn everything. It's going to be fine. She's she's in the safest hands. She's working with the best of teams, and all the best. Actually, all the best. She just has to enjoy and learn.
Now this is for me. I've been seeing your airport looks everywhere now, Manushi. Do you plan those looks? Like, I'm in love with your airport looks. I'm sure. Yes.
I don't know. I think I like dressing up, but I'm very very moody actually. So there are times when I go to the airport in like a tracksuit and pajamas and sneakers, and then there are times I just land up at the airport wearing like 6-inch high heel boots with like a skirt or a dress. So it really depends on my mood. But I don't really plan airport stuff, because I hardly I just get to land and I have to leave the next day, and so it's just I go through my wardrobe, or I and I'm like, okay, what do I wear now? What do I wear now? And it just depends on my mood. I feel like wearing this. I feel like dressing up like this. So.
What makes Manushi unstoppable?
What makes me unstoppable?
Which you are.
Thank you. I think my dreams, my ability to dream and to have experienced how it feels to realize your dreams makes me unstoppable, because once your mind starts looking at a goal and once you've experienced the happiness and the joy that you get once you accomplish a certain goal of yours, it's addictive, and I'm addicted to it, and that makes me unstoppable.
Manushi, if I may ask, what kind of legacy you want to leave behind you? I know it's such a...
What? Like after Miss World, or like generally?
Generally, what kind of legacy?
Goodness. I'm 21. I think I would want to be remembered as someone who enjoyed her life completely. And why are you asking me this question? But I'd say that who not only had fun in whatever she did, but also added value wherever she went. And that's something I would love, generations to follow.
All right. Also, what are the 3 qualities you would be looking for in the next Miss World? Come on.
I would be looking for, I think the first quality that, especially for me, that did wonders for me ever since I entered Miss India was curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have curiosity, you want to know more, you want to learn. So whenever you go to a certain place, you want to know what is happening, why is it happening, who are the people involved. You need to have curiosity. You can't stop your learning. You need to be continuously in a learning process while you are Miss World as well. Curiosity. The second would be passion. If you're not passionate about what you're doing, you will never be happy and you'll never be able to give your 100%. And you need to be completely passionate. You need to be passionate and completely involved in what you're doing. And the third thing I would say is honesty. Because when you're honest, with people, with yourself, you're able to function in a more organized way. You're able to, make people also understand certain things, and that's what you need. You need that communication. With honesty, the communication is always easier.
Okay. Now, what is the one thing that now you want to tick off from your bucket list? I'm sure you have ticked off so many things.
I think the skywalk I did in New Zealand and the sky jump would be something I'd like to tick off from my bucket list. But a lot of things, I traveled to the BVI for the first time, and that was fun because there were these boulders and caves. So I ended up with a lot of bruises at the end of the trip, but I climbed and I jumped from the cliff into the sea, so that was one thing I always wanted to do.
Ishita Sharma wants to know, when will you be going to China and how excited are you to be there? You were crowned there, Manushi.
Yes, I'll be crowning the next Miss World at the same place where I was crowned. I'm very excited. I'll be leaving on the 19th of November, and I can't wait to see all the girls and be with them for 20 days till the next Miss World is crowned.
Okay. Faridoon says hello. I will just quickly read some of the messages.
Hi.
Indrajit says hello. Wow, they're asking for your PUBG ID. She has never mentioned that. She's on PUBG, guys.
I'm telling you, even if I play, but I would never tell you my ID. I don't want you to know how good I am at it.
Alright. Now, Manushi, as you have traveled to so many countries around the world, what is that one thing you have learned from each country you have traveled? Maybe just one of the countries, any learnings?
Well, apart from India?
Yes.
Well, gosh, there's so much of learning. Indonesia, I saw the Golden Bridge project, and one thing I learned was that no matter, even if you don't have a strong organization backing you up or you don't have the best of resources, you can do a lot with just having an intention to make a change. The second place was Brazil. Brazil, what I learned was that there is much more joy in giving and sharing than in taking.
Wow.
The next country that I visited, that I would say talk about is New Zealand. I think I'd say that in New Zealand, what I learned was that the more opportunities you give to children, the more independence, the more confidence you give to them, they can do wonders. So I feel that that kind of made me feel more connected towards people who are younger to me. I feel as elders we should not suppress them in any way or not make them feel like they have inhibitions. And so you want 2 more, right?
Yes.
And yeah, there's a lot of learning that I did. Then when I went to South Africa, what I learned was, how living a simple life yourself. When I met the chief, when I met Chief Mandela, I realized that how simple the Mandela family is, but when they have to work, how dedicated they are towards the community. So how even a simple life can help you accomplish extraordinary things.
Thank you. I'll quickly take some of the few last questions. We have to wrap up the live chat also. Preeti fully wants to know, how does this life transformation feel from a nerd to a glam celeb?
I'm still a nerd, when I travel in flights, I still have my, once I sit in the flight, I have my specs on, my books out.
Uh-huh.
But wow, it's been from behind the books to in front of the camera. And I put it like that. And it's been nice because as a nerd, you were only, confined to yourself, your world, your books. And books never judge, they're like wonderful friends. But suddenly you're there in front of the camera where, the whole world is watching you, everyone knows what you're saying, everyone wants to know your opinion, everyone knows what you're looking like, what you're doing. And it's intimidating initially, but I got used to it.
How was it traveling with Mrs. Morley?
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Your gem.
Gem, it's been wonderful. There have been a few trips that I've really missed her on, but I think spending this 1 year with her, getting to know her up close and personal, it kind of shows you that we as Miss Worlds lived this for 1 year, and it's because of one woman who lives this who's been doing this her entire life, and that's Gem. I have no idea how she does it. And I think the kind of bond that you build when you are holding hands and walking together in a place where you've come to make a difference, and there are people who have really been wronged in their life, who are really waiting for that ray of hope, and then you're holding hands with Gem and you're walking. It kind of gives you that courage that, okay, and the great thing about Gem is that she encourages you, she pushes you, go ahead, do it. So it kind of gives you that sense of, okay, she's there, she's watching, and at the same time you're confident that I can do this.
Okay. Mustafa wants to know, what is the secret of your happiness?
Hi, Mustafa. I think all the love and all the blessings that I receive wherever I go, I've always been very fortunate, and I'm very thankful that everywhere people have been so kind to me, so generous. People I don't know, I've never met. Maybe I might not meet later on in life. I have no idea, but they've all been so giving towards me. They've all blessed me. They've all given me so much of love. And when you have so much love, what is the reason to be sad? You should be happy.
I have to read this one. Deepak says, if you will become doctor, we all will end up becoming your patients. Please join Bollywood.
Okay, Deepak. Well, in that case, you're going to really benefit me as a doctor.
There has to be the comment.
But this has been used on me many times.
Do you get these kind of questions?
A lot of times. Even when I was in medical college, a lot of times. When I used to tell people I want to be a cardiac surgeon. So I remember the first time I walked into Miss India auditions, and they were like, introduce yourself. And I was like, I'm Manushi, this, and I want to be a cardiac surgeon. And they're like, do you realize? I want to name the person from Miss India organization who said that. She's like, do you realize how many people are going to be like your patients? Just how many cardiac arrests are you going to cause? And I was like, well, that would be good for me as a doctor. Maybe not as much as an aspiring Miss World.
All right. Louis has a message for you. You have achieved so much at such a young age. You are an inspiration to so many and a crush too. How does it feel to be the nation's crush, Manushi?
The nation's crush, my goodness. That sounds heavy actually for being someone's crush. But thank you, Louis. I think it's great to have gone through so much at such a young age, because it kind of makes you feel like if the starting was like this, I can't wait to see how my story is going to unfold.
And so many marriage proposals also came in this live chat. Huh? In case you guys are,
In case you guys are wondering, I'm marrying Priyanka.
All right, this is the last question.
And we'll keep torturing you with these live chats.
I would love to have you again, Manushi. You know it. I still remember the first live chat with you before you were crowned, Miss
Yeah.
World. And today you are again here as Miss World. What a journey you have, you had.
Thank you.
And we are so proud of you, Manushi. So this
Thank
last
you.
question is from Myra. And the question is, any message you have for Indian pageant fans? Not just a fan, but pageant fans.
To all the Indian pageant fans, I will be very honest. I never followed pageant communities before I came into Miss India. And I never knew, there were these communities where you could get access to so much of information. And while I was preparing, I used to wonder, how do I know? All I knew was what I saw on television or what I saw on the website. And when I first auditioned for Miss India, one of my campus princess sisters, she's also a finalist from Miss India, Mannat. She sent me a link and she said that Manushi, you have to see this. And I opened and it was an Indian pageant community. I would not want. It was one of the Indian pageant communities where I had just walked into the audition and my picture was being circulated, and it said like the next Miss India question mark question mark, and that's when I realized that there's so much of discussion that goes on, and there's so many people who you've never met are actively involved. They're not aspiring participants, but they religiously follow pageants and they know everything about it. So I remember that I was like, oh my god! And I think Indian pageant fans have been so good to me ever since I didn't know what. I'll be honest. During Miss India, there were days I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to do this. I've never done anything like it before. Will I be able to do it? And I think these pageant communities really helped because they always kept encouraging me because I would be there in every prediction. They'd always, talk about me. So I'd be like, okay, if people are seeing my efforts and if people are recognizing my potential, then maybe I have a chance in this. Similarly, at Miss World, I personally did not, but there were a lot of people who traveled from different pageant communities. But to all my Indian fans, you have really supported me throughout. Even during Miss World, I don't think if I would have not won, I don't think people even remembered my name, but they knew me as India. And I know that I'll always, always be, remembered as India. And in China till date, when I went for Miss China, they called me India. So I think that is one identity that all of you have given me, and you all have really believed in me. You've been with me throughout my journey, and all your communities. It's wonderful how encouraging and how informative you all are. And thank you to all my Indian pageant fans. And I hope that this is not the last of me, that this is not the last of the relationship we will share. I know you'll keep showering your love on me throughout my life because I feel like I'm a part of your family now.
Any last thought before you go to China, Manushi?
Before I go to China,
Yes, any
I
last
say
thought?
all the best to all the contestants of Miss World 2018 and all the 130 countries who sent their delegates. I really pray that may the best girl win. May she do justice to the title that's given to her, and I really hope that I really hope that she's able to carry on the legacy that 67 Miss Worlds have left before her.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Manushi, for
Thank
your time.
you.
It was lovely having you. All the best.
Thank you so much.